Greetings and salutations everyone, this is No Code Gaming, and I'd like to welcome you back to another Master Duel video. And in this video we will be going over the first loaner deck for the Legend Anthology Festival, Evolving Blue Eyes. Now, unsurprisingly, this is a Blue Eyes centric deck. So what does that mean? Well, it means lots of high-powered monsters and lots of destruction effects and destruction protection. But this deck, I feel like in my initial impressions, I have overestimated. One of the main reasons being, there's not a lot of searchers in this deck, and it is a lot more bricky than actual Blue Eyes. So generally, this would be fixed by including cards such as Melody of Awakening Dragon, as well as Shrine of the Dragon Lords, two very key cards in my opinion for playing Blue Eyes. However, everything else in the deck is perfectly fine, though I would have replaced Chaos Form with a card like Advanced Ritual Arts, I believe it's called. Yeah, this card. And yeah, I just use that to get a Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Generally, I would have replaced cards like Fang of Critias with Dragon Shrine, or heck, even Strength and Unity and Vision of Blue Eyes. I'd replace those with Dragon Shrine. But what are the strengths of the deck? Well, it's a Blue Eyes deck, so big beefy monsters is the general strength of the deck. We have cards like Chaos Max Dragon, cards like Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, and cards like Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon here to just beat over monsters as your finishers. Additionally, we have cards like Blue Eyes Jet Dragon for protection, as well as cards like Azure Eyes Silver Dragon as another means of protection. But what is the main purpose of the deck? Well, it's to try and bring out your Blue Eyes White Dragons. It's not that difficult. But how do we get around doing that? Well, we can use cards like White Stone of Ancients, as well as Dictator of D to try and search out our Blue Eyes and to special summon them. More on that on the replay. We also have cards like Bingo Machine Go in order to search out our Blue Eyes cards. Now, there is no real combo line for this deck. It is very much a play what you can and try to beat over your opponents. A few tips and tricks though. Using Silver's Cry during your battle phase allows you to just pop out an extra 3000 beat stick. Mystical Elf White Lightning is a pretty decent hand trap. However, it has the caveat of you need a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field, so be careful with this card. I generally use it as a throwaway, as a discard for stronger effects. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon is probably your go-to main deck monster, as hey, destruction protection, and it is very resilient. As for your other cards, Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon can be used to pump out all your other dragons, and Deep Eyes White Dragon, not very useful in my opinion. It is a good card to bring out just in case your monsters get destroyed. And unfortunately, you only have one form of back row removal technically, and that comes in Dragon Spirit of White, where if it is special summoned, you can target a spell or trap and banish that target. But yeah, your other forms of disruptions are Alternative White Dragon, of course, for monster disruption, and Mirror Force and Ring of Destruction as your other forms of monster protection. For negates, we have, like I said, Mystic Elf White Lightning, but you can only use it if you have a Blue Eyes or the Blue Eyes on the field, as well as Destined Rivals, and again that is tied to Blue Eyes. Yeah, I think the only cards I have not had a chance to play in my matches were Ultimate Creature of Destruction, so let's see what this does. So target one Blue Eyes monster you control this turn. That face-up monster is unaffected by card effects except its own. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, any opponent's monster it battles is destroyed at the end of the damage phase. Okay, so basically it's just like, hey, this Blue Eyes is now just stupid strong and can destroy everything. While this card is in the GY, if you normal or special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon, You can set this card but banish it. Oh, so it's a recycle effect that makes your blue eyes a bigger threat on the board. Yeah, that works. Yeah, this deck's pretty decent. I sort of rate its power at 6. It would be higher if it had more consistency and more searches, but let's get on with the replays. And here we are with the first replay. We are going second against Dark Magicians. Let's see how well we do, shall we? So opponent Magician's Rods gets a Dark Magical Circle, activates Dark Magical Circle, gets a Dark Magical Circle. I'm guessing they already have the trap card in hand. They Soul Servant a Magician's Soul onto the top. We draw, we have a Poly. So now what we're going to do is Poly. We will get rid of our White Stone of the Ancients as well as our Blue Eyes White Dragon to bring out a Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This card is particularly powerful as it is basically immune to trap cards, and it can attack all monsters our opponent controls once. So we're just going to attack for 1800 damage. Set a Destined Rivals, pass the turn. The reason why we set Destined Rivals, we are able to get this Blue Eyes back to our hand easy. With White Stone of the Ancients, though, we can summon our Dragon Spirit of White to get rid of the Space Down card, which is probably the Dark Magician Trap card, whose name currently escapes me. Alternatively, we could have searched out a Blue Eyes White Dragon using White Stone of the Ancients effects. So then we have a blanketing negate effect for our opponent's monsters. But I chose Dragon Spirit of White because I don't like this trap card. That trap card is called Eternal Soul. Yes, that card. So they activate another Dark Magical Circle, get a Dark Magician. Magician's Soul. In order to special summon a Dark Magician. Then they get rid of our Blue Tyrant Dragon. Draw a card off Soul Servant. Activate another Soul Servant. Magician's Rod on the top. And they suicide. However, because they suicided, they destroy Dragon Spirit of White, which means Blue Eyes Jet Dragon hits the field. This card is very resilient, though our opponent has the means to get rid of it via Dark Magical Circle. So we're going to draw Vision of Blue Eyes. Can't really do anything for here, so we're going to activate White Stone of the Ancients to get our Blue Eyes White Dragon back to hand in order to activate Vision with Eyes of Blue in order to summon our Blue Eyes White Dragon and attack in for 6,000. Vision with Eyes of Blue is a pretty decent card as it allows you to instantly special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, and it has the other effects of you can bounce a monster back from field to hand in order to special summon a Blue Eyes or a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. But basically it just like bounces in order for you to special summon. It activates Soul Servant to draw a card, probably looking for answers. Magician's Rod, I Destined Rivals that just to negate its ability to search. They still Soul Servant though. Did they activate all their Soul Servants this match? They did, wow. Okay. Well, no need to rub it in. Might as well attack with Blue Eyes White Dragon. And that's Blue Eyes versus Dark Magician. Admittedly, our opponents sort of whiffed on some of their hands, so this deck isn't really as powerful as I make it out to be. Sort of lucked out. But yeah, if you are able to get your dragon monsters on the field, as well as get a Jet Dragon, you're basically golden unless your opponent is able to banish. And that's our first win. And here we are with the second replay. We are going first. And luckily, this is a very, very good hand, admittedly. So we are going to start off by activating Dictator of D. sending a Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard. I should have sent a... Can you only send a Blue Eyes? Yeah, you can only send a Blue Eyes, sorry. So, Dictator of D, discard Abyss Dragon in order to special summon Abyss Dragon. When Abyss Dragon special summoned, we get a Poly. Just going to summon a White Stone of the Ancients in order to synchro into Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Why Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon? Well, it has the ability to instantly synchro summon a Light Dragon synchro monster. In particular, Azure Eyes Silver Dragon in order to protect our field. However, Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon also has the caveat of neither player can summon 2 monsters at the same time. So it basically sort of gives a blanketing effect to multi-summon cards. And as a bonus, because White Stone of the Ancients was sent to grave this turn, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon is summoned from the deck. It's the beauty of not having Ash Blossom in this meta. Or in this event, not this meta. So our opponent's playing the Slifer deck. Yeah. And then they're going to link 3 into Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. Now here's the thing. Dictator of D is, as long as you control a Blue Eyes monster, you can actually dictate where your opponent attacks, or how your opponent attacks. So I can force them to attack this in order to be a non-issue. They just get Joker's Knight back to hand, and we can technically finish them this turn. So we're going to activate Poly. Bounce these 2. Oh, sorry. Send these 2 to grave in order to get a Tyrant Dragon. We will be activating Abyss Dragon, buffing all our monsters by 1000, and that is game. The reason why I sent that card in particular is I'm not sure if that is a more potent card, but yeah. So Jet Dragon attacks in Blue Eyes Tyrant and then Blue Eyes Spirit for a turn 3 kill. This is basically what your goal will be, just flooding the field with big beefy monsters. If you are wondering about the priority in how to get these monsters, always try to get Jet Eyes or Blue Eyes Jet Dragon first. That is your top priority, followed by Spirit Dragon, as that will provide a bit more protection for your monsters. So Jet followed by Spirit Dragon. So yeah, as you can see, Blue Eyes, when it can go off, it goes off pretty powerfully. However, I did face quite a few decks where they just had a better combo potential. Particularly if you have these decks, I recommend you play them. DDD decks. Any hero deck is actually pretty powerful, as hey, no Ash Blossom in this event, as well as no Maxi and no decent hand traps except for Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler as your generic hand traps, and any other hand trap that might fit within the archetype you are looking to play. So basically any deck that can go off and combo is really strong, like Black Wings are very strong, Raid Raptor. Basically, if you can combo, this is your event because you have no fear of hand traps. But I digress. This deck not as powerful as I initially thought. I'm actually a bit more excited to try the Slifer deck now, so let's see how that goes. Anyways, like if you like the video, subscribe if you so desire, and have a great rest of your day.